G'day. How's it going? You're listening to the TTP Field Manual. Always, it's me, your esteemed host, Joshy. And hold on a minute. What in the warp? You're not Johnny. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Zach.
Zach. Hello, Zach. Everybody, put your hands together for Zach. How are you, Zach?
I'm good, thanks, Josh. How are you?
I'm very well. So, me friends and listeners, Zach is a good friend of both Johnny and I. He is one of our local game group, and he is here today to talk with me in Johnny's place. But Zach, I don't want you to feel like you are like a second best, like a fill-in. That's not you, boo. We're gonna do a 3-host episode soon, aren't we?
That sounds pretty good. Keen for that?
Yeah. I'm gonna give a little background to what's going on today before we talk a bit more. You and me together, my friend. Johnny, once again, is called away to work. We actually did meet our scheduled recording session, and oh boy, it just didn't work out. Internet, who is she? Hardware, not going so well. So we had to scrap the episode that we had planned. What was it? It was going to be the Codex World Eaters review. That will be sometime next week. So I got on the horn and I was like, Zach, I know that after World Eaters Codex, we're going to talk about Codex Death Guard. What if we just got you in now, like today, so we can record something and get you the feel for the episodes and how we do things here on the TTP Field Manual Professional Studio Production? And you're like, okay. And now here you are. How's it feel?
It feels good. And you said it exactly how it came out of my mouth too.
Did it?
Yep.
I believe I texted you.
I believe you did.
What? You get a text and you're like, hold on a minute.
Well, that's what I said to myself. I was like, okay.
Okay. All right. So before I interview you a little bit, because that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna interview Zach just a little bit, get you guys to know a bit about Zach. So going forward, when he appears, you're not like, who's Zach?
Rando.
Who's this bloody rando? So before we get into it, I just have the show notes, the obvious little show notes. We have social media, specifically one. We have Instagram. It's TTP Field Manual. You can follow us there. We do book club about once a month, give or take. It's Angel Exterminatus, Horus Heresy novel. Features Perturabo and Fulgrim. It's about all you need to know. All right, that's the show notes. Are you ready for the best segment ever, Zach?
I think I am.
How's your hobby?
Mate.
Icebreaker segment. How's your hobby?
Good. I have been putting together a demon print for like the last week and a half.
Oh, have you now?
Yeah. But yeah, been playing, which is good. But the actual hobby side has been severely lacking.
I think I sprayed my first lot of models today, and it's like the first lick of paint models of mine have received in like a month and a half.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, yeah. Hell yeah. So, if people haven't put it together already, you're our esteemed Death Guard player.
Yes, I am.
You've been playing some games with the Death Guard. You've been building up your Death Guard. You've been painting some Death Guard. How are you finding your hobby? So you've been playing of late. Let's talk about that. How have you been enjoying your games? What have your games been?
So the main games that I've been playing with the Death Guard have been the Crusade that you have been hosting, with some more casual games on the side as well. And it's been fun. It has been a good fun time playing the Death Guard. Still kind of getting the hang of it. Still relatively playing and whatnot, but no, it's been a sweet old time.
I've been really enjoying seeing the flower that is you bloom, my friend. You have picked this up, quite in stride. Yeah, you've really clued into the rules and collecting an army and figuring out how it plays and trying to get games in, and not just with like one person, but a couple other people of the group having little hobby nights. It's been really cool to see.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been a very fun time.
Do you have a sort of a favorite part of the hobby that you sort of lean towards? Do you prefer the playing of it? Do you prefer the building of it? I know it's not the painting.
Hands down, it's the lore.
The lore,
No,
yeah.
absolutely not. No, it's probably. I mean, I do really like the artistic expression. Not that I have much, but I do like the sort of putting together and the building and the painting and I think that is quite fun. However, my grey army begs to differ.
Hey, a built army's still an army.
It's playable, but yeah, no, definitely. I have been enjoying playing a lot. It's been very fun.
That's great. You are the first test subject for a conceptual episode that I had in my brain for a while, which is sort of questioning a lot of the other players in the group who are a bit newer to the hobby than myself and Jonny. Well, maybe myself. Anyway, it's more of a how is the new player experience, like what has been your initial impressions with the hobby? What has been things that have surprised you? What have been challenges? Those kind of things. Like let's go a bit back to basics. How long have you actually been engaging with the hobby, and perhaps how long beforehand have you been like thinking of getting started with the hobby?
So I mean, I was first introduced to the existence of Warhammer back in the day when it was called Games Workshop. I got my Battle of Macragge set that ended up just collecting dust because young me couldn't paint and gave up very quickly. And so I've kind of always been aware of Warhammer and wanting to pull the trigger on getting back into it, and then decided one day that I would. And that was actually about a year ago now. Ended up like buying a couple models here and there, and now I have way too much, just like everyone else.
No, you have just the right amount for this week.
Until next week.
Until next week, you're like, I actually could use another rhino, eh?
I may have bought another Mythic Blighthauler today.
I should have made that joke. I should have made a Blighthauler joke.
Another one for you to blow up. Yeah. So
I never blow up your vehicles.
No,
what do you want about?
Especially not on turn one.
Not at all. Not at all. I just have some really angry sisters, okay?
They're not very happy.
So you got into the hobby like a year ago, you said. What was the deciding factor? Because Battle of Macragge came out quite a while ago.
A little bit of time ago. What was it for? I think it was 4th.
5th or 6th, one of those.
Oh, okay.
4th, maybe. I don't know.
Regardless,
around there.
Long time ago. I don't know.
I'll find out.
I think it was probably just wanting to pick something up to do with my time as opposed to like just working, go to work, eat, sleep, repeat.
Hey, it was 4th. Good job.
Hey. Gets cool,
Yeah, go on.
No, yeah, I think it was just wanting to sort of actually have something to put my time into in that sort of sense, I suppose. That, and I was like, fuck it, I'm an adult.
I got disposable income, sort of.
Yeah, sort of, I think, maybe. Oh, wait, no. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Needed a little way to express yourself. That's great. I understand that quite a lot. What made you pick 40k? And then, again, what made you pick Death Guard?
Initially, so Tyranids was my big draw initially to Warhammer. And so I was going to go with Tyranids. But Death Guard has always also been, like, in my peripheral. They were released. I really just love the aesthetic of the army. I think that they are very flavorful in terms of, like, visuals. And yeah, I think yeah, they're really cool visually, and that's probably about it.
That's as deep as you thought about it.
Pretty much. They got like fun little tentacles and whatnot. Like there's like lots of like cool little greebles on them that I thought was pretty cool. That's pretty much about it.
You are the embodiment of the go for what's cool to you approach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, some people they're like, oh, what's the play style that would suit me, or what's the more affordable army to collect, or maybe a bit more of a meta, like what's actually the strong army, wink wink nudge nudge. You're like, nah, I'm just going with what's cool. And I would argue probably that's what is going to retain someone more so than those other angles of approach is just sticking with what you actually find cool.
100%, and then we'll end up just working on the army out of passion versus trying to chase something else ethereal. And then, it just so happens that your army gets made best army in the game. So I've been told. Just falls into your lap. So that's pretty neat.
me last Saturday, how does it feel to have the strongest army in the game, Zach? Come on.
It's like, well, Josh, I still keep losing, so I don't know.
What do you think about this whole notion that 40k has, top tier armies, and except for Imperial agents, they don't count, low tier armies, and there's just this sort of strive for balance, and every 3 months there's a sort of patch, if you will, for the game. How does that make you feel?
Ignoring the elephant in the room, how the rules are acquired, we won't touch that, but I mean,
stay away, corporate.
I think it's good. I think it keeps people interested. Maybe not the people that you want to be interested in the hobby, but I think that competitive nature maybe keeps people around, keeps people invested in that sort of side of the hobby. So I think that that's healthy. But the way that Warhammer is sort of acquired it through purchasing, and then that's quite expensive. There's quite a great deal of time in investing into an army. It's not worth meta chasing. I think going for the rule of cool and going for what you really like aesthetically or lore wise is probably the best way to go about it. I don't know if that answers the question at all.
It kind of does. I think you definitely have a good point there. It keeps people invested. I think attention spans are shorter these days with how many things are out there for our attention span. Even just within hobbies we mutually enjoy, video games, movies, shows. There's more than ever before, or at least we have access to more than ever before.
Yeah.
And I think in that sort of sense, it's good to sort of have every couple of months or every week or two, something new, kind of a bit of news, if you will, to keep the sort of brain hooked into Warhammer, for better or worse. Yeah. But that actually is a great sort of very rushed segue into what I was going to eventually ask you anyway, which was, how do you actually find, now that you've chosen an army and you've collected the army, which we'll circle back around to that, but how do you actually enjoy playing the game of 40k?
I think that maybe there are certain aspects that I struggled with a little bit, but that's probably more so coming from a background where I don't really play a whole lot of strategy games. I'm very much so a different sort of person when it comes to game. But that's fine. Obviously I've chosen to go into a strategy game.
You can't idle click this one, Zach.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. And so, but otherwise, it's definitely helped surrounding myself, you and the other lads, being able to be guided or spoon-fed, sort of how to play and whatnot.
You've got Johnny and I, who's one of us is just crane's head back, and the other's pouring Warhammer down the beer funnel.
Pretty much. Exactly. So I'm very fortunate to be surrounded by people who are more knowledgeable on the subject. But otherwise, yeah, I think I don't know too much about previous editions, but I think this edition has been relatively straightforward in terms of digestibility and whatnot.
I would agree. I think maybe 7th or maybe 8th edition, I think that was sort of the turning point for a lot of people from something a bit more casual and fluffy and towards a game which is designed with balance in mind, from a perspective where you could run tournaments and everyone has a bit of a fair shot, provided they actually know what they're doing. Some people have, unfortunately, not enjoyed that approach. They want more of that fluffy fun. They go on to other games like Sigma, for example. But 40k, it does have a bit of that digestibility now. A lot of the rules have been sort of trimmed down. But I think there's still a lot of high level, advanced rules that not a lot of people even are really aware of until you actually start playing. I think the other night, I'm going to Overwatch the charging unit. I'm like,
no.
the charging unit started behind a wall. You're like, yeah. I'm like, that. Unless I've misinterpreted it, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, just textbook not reading the rules properly.
Honestly, you came at a right, point in our game group's existence, because like that first year of 10th edition, Johnny and I got so many of the rules wrong because we were under the impression that it was kind of like same but diff from 9th edition. And so like, yeah, like that's how this works. No.
Yeah.
Like they changed a substantial amount between the editions, which, also gives some people a bit of whiplash and they go to other projects. But back to your story, what about the Death Guard did you collect first? What was like, I'll go with this box. Like what aspect of the army piqued your attention? Was it like the Marines? Was it the demons, the demon vehicles? Was it Mortarion? Like what was it?
I jumped headfirst into the combat patrol. Funny,
Good choice.
Because not last edition, but the previous combat patrol, the one with Typhus, the Poxwalkers, and the Plague Marine, and the Biologous Putrefier, was considered to be
it's
like
a good box now.
Yeah, exactly. look at how the tides have changed. But yeah, it was widely considered to be like one of the worst combat patrols at the time, and I mean, definitely was.
You came to your first game like, I don't know what to do with all these
pretty much.
Poxwalkers.
Pretty much. And now, yeah, it's kind of sought after. But yeah, no, I think I definitely liked the look of Typhus and like the Plague Marine, so much the Poxwalker. But I don't think anyone jumps into Death Guard because they like the look of Poxwalkers.
They're probably like zombies, but not Poxwalkers.
Yeah, I suppose so. But yeah, definitely like the cool scythe aesthetic, and then you learn that they're gardeners, and you're like, well, that's kind of lame, but oh well.
The gardeners of Nurgle,
yeah, pretty much.
Except they're like eviscerating the servants of the Imperium.
Oh yeah, some of the models look so good.
Man Reaper.
Yep.
He was a Man Reaper.
Work hard. I don't know what's.
So what do you got now? Like what's sort of your little collection at the moment, or not so little collection at the moment?
Oh no.
And what playstyle has sort of piqued your interest as your codex has arrived?
Oh, so I've got. Do you just want a breakdown of the whole army I have?
Up to you.
Okay. Well, I've got Mortarion. I've got 20 Plague Marine. I've got Typhus. I've got 30 Poxwalkers. I've got 5 Myphitic Blight Haulers. I've got.
Oh my god.
A Plague Burst Crawler. I've got 6 Death Shroud, 5 Blightlord Terminators, 2 Lords of Virulent, which hopefully am going to be kitbashing one of those into a Lord of Contagion. Death Guard, Icon Bearer, Tallyman, Biologous Putrefier, Foul Blight Spawn, a Demon Prince. I think that's it. I could be missing something, but yeah. So.
And you got all that in a year, hey?
I think I brought the Combat Patrol like September, October, so just under a year, but yes.
Holy.
Yeah, well, I think when I first got invited to play with the group, which was early this year in February, I think I had 7 Plague built, and that was it. So
you've really gone for it, haven't you?
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I actually kind of built a fair amount in, and that's not all I've built either. But yeah, built it in a fairly short time, I suppose.
Sorry, if you've been hearing me click-clacking on my keyboard, I was trying to see if Lord Felthius and the Tainted Cohort are in stock.
Yuck. No.
No. Yeah, cool, man. That's a pretty good collection.
Thank you.
I enjoyed when I arrived to a mutual friend of ours. They're having a birthday party, and he waddles over, mostly intoxicated, like, "Hey, Joshy! Oh, we got this guy here. He says he wants to do Warhammer. His name's Zach." And then you and I like spent the whole night talking to each other.
We did.
And the rest was history.
We did. Yeah, there was a good Transformers chat in there too.
There was a lot of chats, actually. We went through the gamut, other hobbies, political stuff, romantic stuff, travel stuff, every stuff.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And then I threw you in the deep end into a crusade where I've done homebrew add-ons.
Which was very interesting. But I've been. Yeah. It was a little hard to like get a hold of it first, considering I hadn't played through the base game and I was jumping into kind of like a base game plus. But I think that now definitely that I've played a bit more games, I've definitely grown to be a bit more comfortable. And it's been a whole lot of fun.
I'm very glad. You definitely are one of the most passionate lads in the group in terms of like, hey, does anyone want to have a game this weekend? Would anyone like to have a little hobby sesh? Obviously, you've got, work and family that takes up time, but you also make time for yourself and your hobbying, and that's really cool to see.
Not that you can see, but I'll take a small bow, perhaps a curtsy.
Yay! Take your small bow.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. What do you enjoy playing at the moment? Do you enjoy playing the Virulent Victorium, the Mortarian's Hammer, the Taliban Summoners?
Oh yeah, the Taliban Summoners.
7!
I think I've tried... Okay, so I haven't tried Shamble Rot Victorum, nor have I tried... what's the other one? Taliban Summoners. I think I might have tried all the other ones at least once. The Champions Contagion, I didn't get that to sort of do the thing, shall we say. That one, a bit of a bust, but that's okay. I definitely enjoyed playing the Virulent Victorium, though. That one was good. And I did also enjoy playing the Terminator detachment, of which I'm drawing a blank on the name.
Is it the Deathlord's Chosen?
I believe it's Deathlord's Chosen.
Ooh, hi Warhammer. Are there any opponents that you haven't been as excited to go up against? Not people, obviously, but like factions. Are there, like, I want you to say sort of like what you enjoy most, like whether it's that Terminator play style, that combined arms approach, or whatever. And then what sort of factions do you see put before you on the table? Because you've played against a few now, and you're like, uh-oh.
The funny thing about that is I don't think I really look too much at the enemy's faction and go, uh-oh. Like, I embrace games, whether I'm going to lose or not. It's just about having fun. That's the soppy answer.
Good boy.
What one am I most afraid? I mean, the Knights are obviously very imposing.
That was like your closest matchup before you eventually got your first win, wasn't it, against Chaos Knights?
No.
Came down to the wire.
It was against... So I've only gotten a win against Tyrannid, against Tyson, I believe.
Yeah, but when you went up against Johnny's Chaos Knights once, it was so close.
It was, yes. I think it came down to a roll, and failed the roll, but yeah. But I'm looking forward to owning those Necrons, fighting the Necrons and winning. That'll be juicy.
After my rude Ematech play on the weekend.
Yeah, that was pretty mean.
Marching a tactical nuke into the middle of the board.
No. Yeah. But yeah, so there's not really anything I'm like super afraid to go against. But yeah, I think another thing to answer your other sort of part of the question, I haven't changed my list too much from what I'm running. Like the core is generally still pretty much the same. And so I guess just
like the stuff you've got.
Well, yeah, like what I'm running in the list. And so like just finding a detachment that works well with what I'm enjoying playing unit-wise, probably.
Do you have favorites? You're like, this is my favorite unit. I love what they do. I love like the aesthetic, perhaps. I love their gameplay. Like, do you have a favorite?
Do I need to say Death Shroud or?
You don't have to say Death Shroud, but I would be surprised if you said Death Shroud.
Yeah, definitely the Death Shroud. They are, they're awesome, obviously. They're ridiculous. I definitely like...
So intimidating.
I definitely I love my Myphitic Blind Horse as well. They're so fun. They get blown off, but I don't care. I'll bring them every game. They're good fun.
I really enjoyed going over to your place the other day, and you were versing our other Nids fan, and I looked at your game table, and it was like round 3 or 4, and there was just like a couple of Myphitic Blight Haulers acting as like little like roadblocks to a Norn.
Yep.
And I was so like beside myself. I didn't want to just like burst out laughing and make you feel like any negative thing, but I was like, little baby my Phoenix going against the Norn.
They're probably like one of my favorite models in the Death Guard range. Like they look so fun in like aesthetic. And they're so cheap. They're like in Australian fun money, they're $40.50 straight from Games Workshop, and they're 90 points. Like great value.
Yeah,
bloat drone
you don't see too many of those anymore.
No.
You know why? Yeah, like you know why they are that cheap.
No, why is it?
Oh well, at some point in the Warhammer, you know, a lot of the sort of newer armies or the start box of the edition armies, like Death Guard for 8th, Necrons for 9th, you will end up with a lot of units you can obviously buy for cheap on the secondhand market because people want to split their boxes. But especially for Death Guard, what they had was something that you would see for a couple of the Sigmar armies as well, like the Nighthaunt and the Stormcast. Like at that time in the production of these games, they wanted to have armies that were a little cheaper to get into. So they would have like what's in the start box, and then they would have like a couple of units that all the like rule books and the codices and all that would be like, this should be like your next purchase because this is like a good unit, you know? And they would be like these easy build, push fit models, and they were just dirt cheap because they were the ones that are like, yeah, these are going to be mass produced, these are going to be the cheap ones that we're going to tell everyone to buy. And that was my Fiddix.
Okay. And I still can't build them right.
Did you put the track on that other one yet?
Still missing the track.
Oh my god.
Built the Mythic Blight Hauler and had a piece left over on the sprue at the end of it, and was like, where does this go? And the worst thing was that was like the second one I had built as well. Oh, so silly.
So we talked about what you've collected, we talked about what you liked, what you've been playing. What's next, Zach? What are you looking forward to in the future? Are you wanting to do a few more Death Guard units? Are there some sort of list that you're eyeing up playing? Are there other armies you're sort of like,
I think I would like to give Nids a go. I've got a, air quotes, small smattering of Tyranids at the moment.
A Norn and a couple of footstools.
A Norn, a Hive Tyrant, and then a couple of footstools.
For the Norn, to step on.
Yeah. I think or there's maybe Custodes if I'm feeling like the Death Guard aren't tough enough. I don't think there's really anything drawing me towards it in terms of 40k outside of like Tyranid or expanding the Death Guard. I might pick up a couple vehicles, maybe another Plague Burst Crawler, maybe one more Mythic Blight Hauler to play the car park.
No fetid bloat drones.
No, go away.
No,
Not meta chasing. I like the Mythics. I like the Plague Burst Crawlers. I'm gonna play what I think is cool, and I'll win that way. But outside of that, there is Sigma.
Do you want to go to that elephant in the room down to you?
I mean, we can.
I was gonna get there anyway. You may as well drive the ship for a bit.
Okay. Sure. So I have a little bit of Seraphon.
It's him, everybody. This is the guy. This is Mr. Seraphon. Yeah,
I brought up a bunch of Seraphon and was also very kindly through one of the acquaintances of the group gifted a bunch of Seraphon as well. So I have about 4,000 of Seraphon, also unpainted, sitting there. Also some unbuilt, but that's another story, I suppose.
The amount of things that what I'm calling the B team of this game group gives to the A team is crazy.
Yeah, no.
Have you played Seraphon yet? Have you played Sigma?
No, I haven't. Because the story behind that, if you want me to get into it a little bit,
sure.
So like I didn't have any people to play with. I was going to get into the hobby with a friend. They flaked. That's okay. Life happened.
Yep.
And then I didn't really want to post to any like forums or that locally because I didn't want to be like, hey, can someone just teach me the game? And I had ordered this.
Can be uncomfortable, can't it?
Yeah, I didn't want to waste anyone's time and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't be like that.
And so I ordered the Seraphon Spearhead because I was like, oh, like I was still in the phase of ordering stuff that looks cool. And I was like, you know what? I like dinosaurs. I like lizards riding dinosaurs. Who doesn't?
Boring people don't.
True. Very true. And there was a sort of a local gaming competition that was going to be Sigma. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to play Sigma, and then that ended up falling through. And by falling through, I mean I totally messed up the dates and just didn't go. But yeah, and then ended up finding you guys, which was very lucky. #blessed.
#blessed. Yeah, the TTP group, which for those who don't know, was literally just like the name of our group chat. I'm pretty sure because the first time ever one of us had a airbrush, I was like, oh, can I check that out? And just picked up one of my already painted Necrons, picked up an airbrush for the first time, put my paint in, and without even testing it, just went for an OSL in the weaponry. And Johnny's like, what the fuck are you doing? You haven't done that before. And I was just like, nah, mate, trust the process. And that just stuck. Yeah, our group grew pretty snowball-like. We went from like 3 to 4 in a couple of months, and then around about the 4 to 5, we sort of accrued like 3 or 4 more people that aren't really available at all consistently, which is fine. That's how it goes. But it was really hard to lock in a couple of more people, and then just this like last half a year-ish, we got you and we got another person. And we hover around that 5 to 6 sort of players every week or two, don't we? With like 3 or 4 other people just like hovering around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got you in very quickly to fill up those ranks. I was like, cool, you want to play? You're in. Let's go. This weekend. Can you make it? You're like, I'm like, nah, don't worry. People will love you. Don't worry. Like, are you sure? Yes. Come on. Let's go. We'll teach you.
Yeah. And then, there's even a couple more. I'm not sure if this was one of the people you were referencing. Yeah, there's even a couple more potentials on the horizon who are
there is
pretty interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't even counting those people.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about, but no, I wasn't even counting them. But yeah, it's good, eh? Hang on, let me do my mental math here. That person, that person, that person, that person, that person. Yeah, we're kind of like 5 pretty consistent players and then like 5 sort of non-consistent players. So yeah, it's cool. But I'm very glad to hear that you are enjoying it, that you're going with the rule of cool. That's so important. There are a couple of things to the hobby we haven't really talked about, though, which is how are you enjoying the painting?
Oh no.
Nurgle, take me now.
It probably helps that I pick, depending on who you talk to, the easiest army to paint. But
it's Necrons.
Necrons. I mean, you're not wrong. But I really do enjoy painting. I do. When I actually can be, it's that mental roadblock of like, if I don't have enough time in an afternoon to sit down and put a good chunk of time in, then I won't bother. I want to sit down for like a couple of hours and actually whack out a fair amount of painting. But that's obviously a me problem. But no, because we are in Australia, I enjoy cracking open a couple of cold ones, listening to loud music and just fading away, enjoying doing a bit of painting. Yeah.
As you fade away into Nurgle's rot.
Yep.
As the Galapox takes hold. As the plague turns you into a destroyed one.
Pretty much. As my brain goes to mush.
You've been listening to some books though, haven't you? You've been dabbling into lore as well.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. So, no, I listened to The Infinite and the Divine, which was chef's kiss. And I'm currently listening to The Lords of Silence, being a Death Guard fanboy. Not so much chef's kiss. About halfway. Actually, no, I think I'm like 2/3, 3/4 through.
Oh, you're that far through.
Yeah.
And it's still only like, okay.
Yeah, a little bit undecided. I mean, there's definitely been like some cool points, but it's a bit But
it's really hard to take recommendations for 40k storylines because some people will appreciate more like how it's written, or some people will appreciate more like the bolter porn, as it's called, the fighting. Some people would appreciate more the like nitty gritty, descriptiveness of the setting. Like everyone sort of appreciates different aspects, and I've heard good things about Lords of Silence, but nothing actually specifically of why it's good. So it's been very interesting to hear your thoughts.
I actually was going to earlier today see if I could find some more in-depth reviews on it to gauge what it was, like you said, that people either enjoyed or didn't enjoy about it, so that I could base my opinions off that, like a mindless sheep.
Help me understand my brain.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me why I feel this way. I think, I don't read a whole lot of books or, engage in that sort of medium too much. These two are the first audiobooks that I've listened to. But I think it's just maybe it's listening to it while I'm working. There's a whole lot of characters, a lot of like fluffy descriptions, and it's like, get to the skull crushing and the side swinging.
I have a book saga for you next, and I can just get it to you for free. You don't have to.
Is it next week's book club?
No, you'd have to buy that one. I went through official channels for that one.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. It's one of those sort of like bundles that you can get from like Humble Bundle and stuff like that. So I just have all these files to download. I don't even know if I should like say I can just give it to you.
Probably not.
Whatever. Probably not. All right.
That's
I might
okay.
just
We can
bleep
cut
that out. The next book saga I think you should listen to, Zach, if you are interested in that sort of like skull smashing, skull worming kind of, aspect, go for the Plague Wars, the Dark Imperium trilogy, the Ultramarines defending Ultramar from Mortarion and the Death Guard. It's when Bobby G woke up and he starts doing his thing, and then Mortarion's like, oh, I want the spotlight too. And then goes and starts doing a bunch of plagues, and Gilman has to turn his car around and go deal with it.
Okay.
It's got a lot of bolter porn.
I might give that one a try. I think, and another thing about the listening to the Lords of Silence, the voices are like really like raspy, and it's kind of hard to follow along. Obviously, the VA is getting into the theme of it all, but it just kind of makes it a bit hard.
It's not for you.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is.
Well, I really enjoyed. I have only listened to the first of the 3 Dark Imperium novels. I still think it's got my favorite tidbit of lore that I've had about Nurgle in the whole time I've been in the hobby.
Lore me up, Daddy.
So it's, one of the worlds, because the Ultramar system's like 500 worlds big. It's like a mini Imperium. And the Death Guard are all spread out doing plagues left and right. And of course, they brought some of their demon buddies with them, right? And one of the chapters is this sort of POV, I think, of a soldier. Okay. It's been like a year or two since I've listened to it. And it's like his perspective on the actual like battlefield, where I could be getting it confused. Like, I'm not sure if it's actually there or if he's the one recounting it, but either way, there's a soldier who gets sort of slowly corrupted by a plague he, firmly believes he doesn't have. So I think he might have been at it. Anyway, it is when a bunch of the Nurgle demons are on this planet and they're like, hello, I'm here,
Yep.
And the description is basically like, the lakes turning into pus and then Nurglings like swimming through it to come out from it. It's, it's great unclean ones rising out of like the rotted carcasses of mountains and, other creatures, and like, more demons are like falling out of their bellies as they like vomit them up, and, and the thing is like, it's happy. Like all the Nurglings are so happy. They're all like, yay, this is great, big party, and you've got the great unclean ones that are like, this planet's going to be so beautiful, like stuff like that. And then you've got like some random like demon with an abacus, like 6 Nurglings, 7 Nurglings, like 7. And all the Nurglings like, yay! And then from the perspective of the Imperium, it's like, oh my god, I'm coughing up my guts because they're like 5 kilometers away and I'm already sick.
Yep.
And my eyes are turning into worms, eating my brain. And, you know, my fingers have turned into pussy sausages because I looked at them. And it's so contrasting between the innocence of Nurgle as a concept and the horror of the perspective. It's great.
The Nurgle demons do have that like really cool juxtaposition from that perspective. It is pretty cool. Out of curiosity, in that book, do they call them Nurgling or something else?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably Nurglings. Like, there are variations of the demons, of course. Like, there are, plague bearers versus poxwalkers. There are Nurglings and, like glitchlings, and there's beasts of Nurgles, and then there's like the molluscoids, and, there's bloat flies, rot flies. There's so many variations of them.
Okay. Because in Lords of Silence, they're referenced as little lords. And I had no idea what they were talking about at first. And then they give a physical description. I was like, oh, it's a Nurgling. Never mind. But I was like, I was a little confused about that, but oh well.
Right.
Yeah.
I do a bit of creative writing, I had an idea that I think you'd really appreciate for, like, if I was to ever write like little Warhammer horror, I've got one, and it's a Nurgle story. It's basically like set within the Plague Wars, and it's I don't know if they have grocery stores in Ultramar, but for like 3 months while I was a student a couple of years back, I did like night fill at a grocery store, right?
Yep.
And it was like night fill, so there wasn't really like anyone there, and you're just like doing your mindless job. So I was just like, just daydreaming. And I thought, like, what if you had like, let's say like, a mentally stunted, let's say, individual working just, menial labor in one of these places. And for whatever reason, like during a purge of Nurgle and all that stuff, like a Nurgling just escapes and makes its way to like this grocery store. And the like clerk is just not quite, savvy to the fact that that's, something that shouldn't be there. And just it keeps like he keeps sheltering the Nurgling, who keeps like infecting everything. And so everyone over the course of like weeks in the story are just getting like sick and disappearing, and the whole community's falling apart just because this clerk had a little friend.
That sounds like something definitely pursue. I think that would be a really fun like read, very fun like creative writing project.
If any writers of Games Workshop or the Black Library are listening, you can use that if you want.
Hit him up.
I won't be too mad. Just do it well.
Hit him up at the on the Instagram account.
Hit me up on Insta.
On Instagram.
Hey, what's your @
Yeah.
What's your digis?
And yeah, actually, I was going to chime in earlier, but there might be like a little bit of behind the scenes stuff posted there if anyone's interested. Snapshots of game nights. Not so, maybe give it a follow.
I should get on that, shouldn't I?
Not trying to pressure you or anything, Josh.
Like, I know there's, I know that it's there, and I've got like several photos. Thanks, Zach. But then I'm like, yeah, I'll post it, and then it's like the next week. You're like, oh, hold on, I forgot something.
Yeah.
But I just had a favorite bit of lore from me. Do you have any sort of favorite things that you've come across with Nurgle or Death Guard or anything like that? Like, has there been anything that's really stuck with your mind? Is like, yeah, this is why I like this faction.
Oh, not really. No, unfortunately. Bit of a lackluster answer, I'm sure. But
how dare you just enjoy it for having the models and playing the game?
Exactly. How dare I?
Exactly.
How dare I? But
exactly.
I think my favorite bit of lore is in the new codex. It describes Myphitic Blighthaulers as being taken, typically running in pack. Well, not running, but being in packs of 3. And then this edition we can only take at a time. So I think that's pretty neat.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that where you're like, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
What
do you mean?
There's a I love this hobby and I love the community, but sometimes mentally inflexible people, let's say, will ask other people in the community such like silly questions, like to you and me. It'll be like, oh, could I run, this as a dark angel if it's not painted like a dark angel? And like you and I would be like, yeah, obviously.
I don't know the difference.
Yeah, but like so many like aspects of this hobby aren't like super well explained. Like it's probably what's holding it back from becoming more mainstream than it actually is. It's like it's kind of like an iceberg. You got to put your swimsuit on and go underneath the surface to actually see how far it goes, Has there been anything in a negative light in this hobby that you're like, oh, this is too much? Like whether it's figuring out how the rules work or things being out of stock or, not being able to take your blight haulers as 3s. Like, is there anything that makes you just sort of like a little sour? If you were to do some objective criticism or constructive, criticism?
I think the biggest problem for Warhammer in terms of like not being as widely successful as maybe it should be is simply the accessibility of it. To get into playing a game, you've obviously got to source out all the rules and then have an army at 1,000, or at least that's what's recommended. And I think people look at that and go, whoa, especially with the price tag that's attached, and, it can definitely be daunting. And that's sort of to get your feet wet and try the game, see if you like it. Obviously, there are other avenues you can play on Tabletop Simulator, or you can play a smaller game like Combat Patrol or 500 points or whatever it is.
But even that, you can't even find rules for.
No, but like the recommended way to play is just atop this inscalable mountain. And I think that turns a lot of people off. Me personally, I think that's what was the biggest thing for me to swallow was like I mentioned before, I didn't want to waste anyone's time in playing a practice game and learning how to play the game. Obviously, some people like to read, and they learn better that way. I'm definitely not someone like that, and so that can be difficult. And we live in a relatively regional area. Warhammer isn't quite as popular up here as it is in other more populated areas. And so I think that make it a bit difficult sometimes. That was probably the biggest hurdle, was putting myself out there, I suppose.
Yeah.
Coming out of the basement, one might say.
Yeah. I've definitely, I get where you're coming from. If the community was a bit more like some of the D&D players I had when I first started cracking into that hobby, I might have just like packed up Warhammer for another 10 years.
Yeah.
But I've found a good bunch of eggs.
Oh, yeah. I think only a couple of us don't shower regularly, which is like really good in terms of like Warhammer odds. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. I only shower after I've had a game.
Oh, really? Is that your like post-game reward? Okay.
Yeah. That's why I keep playing to win, so I can reward myself with hygiene.
You're like, damn it, I didn't win. No shower for me this week.
As a physical therapist who probably washes and sanitizes their hands like 24 times a day, that felt a bit cathartic to finally voice to the world I don't shower. Sarcasm, obviously.
Of course.
I actually probably shower too much, if I'm being honest. Like, if I had my way and water wasn't like a finite resource that costs money and like affects the ecosystem, like I could be in the shower like an hour or two at a time. Like, I just love being in running water.
Okay.
Like, waterfalls, they're cool, but you have to like go there.
Yeah.
Like, oceans, they're okay, but the water's salty, doesn't taste so good.
Yeah.
Whereas like shower, you could set the candles, you could maybe dim the lights, whatever.
My goodness.
And it's like, cozy, good,
I get in, I wash, I get out.
You are very practical about it.
Yep.
Nah, it's my zen time at the end of the day away from the world.
That's your you time.
It's my me time. I was gonna say that's my you time, but our girlfriends might not enjoy that.
Gosh, buy me dinner first, jeez.
Nah, just take you straight for a shower after our Warhammer games.
Just grab me by the scruff of the neck. It's time.
Come on, Death Guard. It's time to get clean.
Nuh-uh. Not on my watch.
Oh. On that note, I think we should probably start wrapping it up. Not for the showers.
It's time to shower, boots.
It kind of is. I'm got my fan turned down for this recording in case of the whole of the fan blade, and I'm getting a little damp. So I think it's shower time.
Shower time.
Shower time. Thank you very much for joining me for a very last minute arrangement. Little how you going, mate? Do you have any sort of like things you've been holding on to that you've been waiting to say that maybe I cut you off from saying?
No, I mean, check out the Instagram. That's probably about it.
You're my media man now.
Maybe. See. No, thank you very much for having me. This has been fun. Yeah.
It has. I have spent a few evenings just chatting with you about hobby, and now I've actually got you on this little podcast of Jonny and I, and we're gonna have you back real soon. We're gonna have you in to chat Death Guard with us, and who knows what else in the future.
Looking forward to that. Sure.
Thank you very much, Zachy.
No, thank you, Josh.
Stanky Zachy. Stank face McGee. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.